Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen, but we're not cooking today. We're mixing colors on LED par light fixtures. A lot of people like to use those color macros. Well, I'm going to show you how to custom mix colors. Had a couple people ask, how do you do it? If you have a cool LED panel like this one does on the back, chances are you can absolutely do this. So what's really cool for demonstration purposes and even for programming lights for a gig is using the Jelly series, because I can lay them flat down on a table, turn them on, and I can actually see the color without having to, flip it up in a weird angle to look at the color on a wall or something. I can see it right in the fixture itself. So these are the color macros people are talking about. People say, well, we can get some cool colors, but, not maybe exactly the colors we're looking for. But you don't have to just use color macros. If you cruise down your menu more, hit your mode button. This is R.000. R stands for red. That's supposed to be a B for blue. Actually, maybe that's blue. And that's G for green. It's hard to tell on these digital readouts. So let's just look at blue for a minute. See, if I go up one, I get just a little bit of light. And if I keep moving it, the light gets brighter and brighter and brighter. It's kind of like a dimmer. So I can go all the way up to 255 actually, on the brightness on this. That's as bright as the blue gets. Now, let's say I want to add some red to that to make a magenta, perhaps. I hit set up until I see the R, and then I'll go up until we start changing into the magenta I like. Now you can kind of see it. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not, but see, that's a magenta right there. And I can adjust the intensity of that. I can make it, more red if I want to by simply going up. Or I can absolutely make it more blue by going down. And I can make that fine-tuning adjustment, something you can't do with the color macros. I don't know how well it's showing on camera, but it actually is changing into some pretty nice colors, and that's a cool magenta right there. And that's on the P64 panel, PAR 64 panel, which you're going to find in your Jelly Go series. And those are RGB diodes, individual red, green, and blue. But when you're working with maybe different fixtures on the same uplighting job, which I do a lot, your color values are going to be a little different. Here, I'll show you. Now I've got two different lights shining two different spots on the back door. Sorry, I was running out of white surfaces. We have a Mega Tri-Par profile on the left and the Jelly Go Par 64 on the right. They are definitely different fixtures. Look in the reflection. You can see we've got Tri-LED, and then we've got regular old RGB diodes. So look at the color values. I had to change them up. I'm going red 50 on the Tri-Par, and the blue is full on 255. But look at the Jelly. The red value was 100, and the blue value was still 255. Why? Well, it's just a matter of how intense the light is as far as the brightness on the individual diodes. Tri-LED diodes are so bright that sometimes you have to plus or minus quite a bit of color, so you can't just go off of color values when you're mixing and matching fixtures. You got to put them side by side and see what makes sense, or at least that's been my experience, even with bars, because the diodes are spread out different. And that's not unusual at all that I'll use several different types of fixtures for one room. For instance, this room, I believe I had 4 different fixtures. Now part of that was I didn't have, 16 of one fixture, but the other part was I was doing different jobs. Sometimes I needed a lot of light, sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I needed bars, and they had different color values. If you've got a pair of Jelly Go Par 64s, fine. Put them all at the same color value, but once you step into your Mega Par profiles, they might be a little different, as will the Mega Tri-Par profiles or anything else you throw out there. One last thing to add, if we're doing static color uplighting, one single color, that's it, around a room, which is probably the only reason you would do the internal color mixing like I just showed you. What you can absolutely do is mix your colors at home if you want. Take all your fixtures, plug them in, turn them on, and get exactly the color you want at home. So when you go to the gig, all you have to do is plug them in, and bam, you've already got your color. It's less messing around at the gig, saves you time. So that's it for this time. Thanks for watching. Questions, right down here. We'll see you next time. Practice and enjoy.